If you've ever spent any time on YouTube, you've likely heard of the subway violinists, who first went viral about 8 years ago thanks to this video. I really love that. Now, half of that duo, Rhett Price, is launching a new project aimed at raising money for a worthy cause. The song is called Party Animal, that's the acoustic version, but there's a hip-hop one as well, which he's released in a partnership with ice cream giant Ben & Jerry's. All revenue from the song sales and a portion of sales from the new Party Animal ice cream sundae through October 31st will go to the Pine Street Inn. As you know, the largest homeless shelter and service provider in New England. It's caused near to Price's heart, and in a minute he'll tell you why. Rhett Price joins me. Rhett, it's great to see you. It's been quite a while.
It's been a while. It's so nice to see you.
Great. So can we start at the beginning? Remind the audience how a violinist, an occasionally homeless subway violinist, became a guy viewed tens of millions of times on YouTube.
Hard work and a lot of luck. That's how it happened, man. It was really crazy. But I put all of my money that I had at the time, which wasn't much. It was like $300. Into the video. I paid a film student. She came down and filmed it, and in a week I was on the phone with the New York Post and Huffington Post, Boston Globe, you know. Mm-hmm. And then I met you.
And it was all downhill or uphill from there.
Yeah.
But you were, I mean, that's not hyperbole. You were homeless at times when you were beginning your career, were you not?
I was, yeah. After Berkeley, which I didn't get to go to for very long because of a lack of funds. Yeah, one thing led to another, and I slept on a few friends' couches, as many of us have, and I was like, oh, this is fine, this isn't a big deal. And then I ran out of friends' couches to sleep on, and I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble. And, you know, thanks to YouTube and viral videos, I was able to make it out of that and then didn't have to endure that for too terribly long. But it definitely left you know, I have a place for that in my heart, and that's why I wanted to not only partner with Ben & Jerry's to do some sort of charity, like to try and give back a little bit, but to specifically help the Pine Street Inn.
Before we get to the Ben & Jerry's collaboration, you should tell people who some of the artists and others with whom you've performed or performed for in the intervening years.
Oh, yeah. I've performed for some crazy people. I don't know, we did some parties for, like, I played at the Montage in LA for Matt Damon, and I recorded some stuff for Tom Brady for some, like, a Super Bowl video, and I don't know, a few different, you know, play with the drop kicks, stuff like that.
From Greater Boston, as you say, to Tom Brady, what can I say? So explain the Ben & Jerry collaboration. How did it come about?
Well, Ben & Jerry's is delicious, first off. But also, I remember back when I was at Berkeley, I was like, I remember them being very supportive of local artists. And so I reached out and I was like, hey, I have this new song coming out and I'd love to. I actually had the idea of coming up with my own sundae named after the song. And they were like, and I you know, we both, after we had a long talk that I thought was going to be a 10-minute talk, ended up being an hour-long talk. They're a great company, great guys. And they love the idea of giving back and giving to charity. So that was, it didn't take long for us to figure that part out, and Pine Street Inn came immediately to mind.
And by the way, it's called Party Animal Sundae. We'll talk about the content of that in a second. And actually, Rhett's going to play Party Animal for all of us at the end of the show. But complete the triangle. Did you have a prior relationship with the Pine Street Inn? Lydia Downey, who is the executive director, has been here many times, is a legendary figure, as she should be. What's that connection there?
You know what's crazy is people had actually mentioned Pine Street Inn to me, and I remember that name because I actually never went, but when they said Pine Street Inn, I don't know, I didn't understand what this place was, and I was like, an inn? Like, what is this? You know, I was a little confused, and so it was a little 50% confusion, 50% out of pride, out of like, no, it's not that bad, I don't need that, and I did need that. But she says they run into that a lot. A lot of people out of pride just don't get the help they really need. You know, it's crazy.
Well, I don't know this for a fact, but I would assume one of the reasons they call it an inn is because the way that they treat their residents, as they call them, is so respectful, is one of the hallmarks of one of the great operations of any kind, I would argue, in New England or beyond our borders. So from the sublime, I wouldn't say to the ridiculous, but to the important, what is a party animal sundae? What's in it?
Nice and simple and delicious. It's fish food ice cream, which has little chocolate fish in it and caramel swirls. And then we put caramel sauce, whipped cream, gummy bears, and then rainbow sprinkles.
I can't believe you left out the gooey marshmallows. There are gooey marshmallows.
Oh, excuse me.
Fish too. How embarrassing is that for you? My God. So explain the deal. I touched on it at the beginning. Through now and when, both the Sundays and the sale of your new song will benefit Pine Street Inn. Fill in the blanks there for a minute.
So originally they were just going to do it through September 30th, and then they've extended it. They want to give back as much as possible. So through the end of October. And I'm also going to extend when I'm giving back all the 100% of the proceeds of my song as well through the end of October.
You know, I saw a story about, you're from Texas, right? Isn't that where you
I am
got
originally
started?
from
Okay.
Texas.
And
yeah.
is Midland where you're from? Is that your hometown?
I don't know how you remember that, but I'm originally from Midland.
Well, the reason I thought of it, I mean, I'd like to say I remember it from the first time I met you, but I was reading a little bit more about you to update myself today. I know you played for some kids there. I never heard the violin played like you played it the first time I heard it on the show, and I saw your video. Is that being, I know you're fairly modest, but try to be immodest if you can. Is your playing, do you get the sense, changing the way kids see the violin as an instrument?
God. I played at a school in Virginia a couple of years ago, and the orchestra teacher said that they couldn't get any kid to sign up for violin. And then the next year she emailed me, said they had over 100 kids.
That's phenomenal.
I think so, and that's one of my main goals. I want kids to realize it doesn't have to be boring. Violin is super cool. Way cooler than just about any other instrument, and I want them to realize that.
Okay, so you're going to play at the end of the show, but before you go, Party Animal Sunday at Ben & Jerry's through the end of October. A portion of those proceeds go to the Pine Street Inn, and 100% of the proceeds during that period from your song go as well. Am I right?
100%. Yes,
100%.
sir.
That is terrific. Rhett, it is great to see you again, and I can't wait to see you play in a couple of minutes. Rhett Price, thanks so much.